Hello friends, today I will talk about Gauss law. Before talking Gauss law, we should know what is electrical flux. Electrical flux. Flux means to flow. Electric flux is the measurement of total electric field line passing through a given area. Electric flux is a measurement of total electric field line passing through an area. Suppose this is an area A and number of electric field line passing through this area, total electric field is E, then electric flux phi will be equal to E dot A. This is the electric flux is equal to the dot product of electric field and area vector. We can write it E into A cos theta, where theta is the angle between electric field line and the area vector. If area is very small, say area is dA, then the small electric flux will be E dA cos theta. Electric flux depends upon a strength of electric field. Number 2, it depends upon the size of the surface. And number 3, if you remember, the orientation of the electric field line. Electric flux is the measurement of total electric field passing through a given area. Therefore, we have d phi equal to E dA cos theta. Now, before proceeding the Gauss law, we should know the concept of a solid angle. Solid angle is the generalization of a plane angle. As two lines construct a plane angle, when two lines meeting at a point, then a plane angle is constructed. In the same way, an area forms a solid angle at a point. So, first of all, we will see about the solid angle. This solid angle is very useful to determine the Gauss law. So, solid angle. Solid angle is generalization of a plane angle. What does it mean by a generalization? Suppose there is one line and another line. These two lines are meeting at a point. Suppose at this point this is a meeting. Now, if we generalize, if we rotate it, it will form a cone. Then this cone, small cone, this surface, this area, there will be a circle at the top, and due to this, there will be a small circle here. Then this small area will be called a solid angle. As much as bigger is the solid angle, as much as is the area. Therefore, the solid angle depends upon the area. So, as two straight lines meet at a point to form a plane angle, in the same way, an area construct a solid angle at a point. This is a solid angle called DW. So let us talk more about this solid angle. Suppose a surface area, a small surface area, this is delta A, this is the P and is the line indicating the area vector, and this small surface area is situated at r distance from OA is already taken, so it will be take B. So this small area is supposed to be at r distance from a point O, where we want to calculate the value of a solid angle. So see, this surface area construct a cone, and this line OP is the axis, and the orientation of this DA surface from this axis is theta. So to calculate the value of a solid angle, what we do, we take a sphere at point O whose radius is 1 unit radius. So when you construct a sphere at this point O, the small area, this area is called a solid angle. Solid angle is indicated dW, so it will be dW, a small area. Now to calculate this the value of this solid angle, what we will do, we will construct a projection of this delta A here. This delta A is, the plane of this delta A is parallel to this dW. So this area will be how much? This will be dW cos theta, as this angle is theta. This angle is theta. So this direction, the direction vector dA cos A, the direction vector will be in this direction. Okay. Now here we can write the ratio of these two area dW is to dW cos theta. dW divided by dA cos theta will be equal to how much? This distance, this is suppose C, so OC square by OB square. You might remember, in case of two similar triangle, suppose this is A, C, B, M and N. So we already know that the ratio of the area of two triangle, if they are similar, area of triangle OCM is to area of triangle OBN is equal to the ratio of the square of their corresponding side. So it will be OC square by OB square and so on, and the OM square is to ON square. In the same way, MC square is to NB square. Okay. In the same way, we have written this area dW is to this area dW cos theta is equal to this OC square is to OB square. We have taken the radius of this sphere is 1, so OC will be 1 square and OB is R, so it will be R square. So that is 1 by R square. From here, dW, that is solid angle, will be equal to dA cos theta by R square. This is the value of a solid angle. This is very useful formula. It will be used to determine the Gauss theorem. To visualize this, I have a small area circle dA, suppose the dA, and this is the area vector. So this will be the direction of area vector dA. Now this due to this dA, cone is constructed here, with a cone is constructed here this way, a kulfi, okay, and the distance from this point O to this point is taken R. Now this is the dA. Now projection of dA is here. Projection will be dA cos theta. So here is the projection, and this is the axis. This is the axis. This is the axis. So projects the area vector for this dA cos theta will be in this direction. dA cos theta. Now we constructed a small sphere here. So because of this surface area, there will be a, I am inserting this small area before. So this is a small area. So what I am doing? I am constructing this cone. So inserting this axis will pass through the center. Okay. So it will be like this. This projection dA cos theta will go inside and this way. Okay. So now here, this is the dA. To visualize this is a very good model for this solid angle. So this is dA. And projection is inside this is the projection, so it will be dA cos theta because this angle is theta. Now we constructed a sphere at point O. This way. This is a sphere. This sphere has radius of unity. So we taken a small area which is inside. Small area. So this small area will be the solid angle. So this is the solid angle. So if you want to calculate this solid angle, it will be the ratio of this dA upon dW cos theta, that will be equal to this distance OC square and the ratio OB square. So I have written. Already we taken OC equal to 1. The sphere, radius of this sphere is 1. So it is 1 square and OB is taken as R. So it will be R square. It will be equal to 1 by R square. Therefore, the dW, the solid angle, will be equal to dA cos theta by R square. Here cos theta indicates the orientation of the electric field line and the area vector. I hope you got the concept of you able to recapitulate the concept of a solid angle. Now we will talk about Gauss theorem. We will erase this. What Gauss theorem, Gauss law says. Gauss law is very useful. It reduces a complex mathematical calculation in a simpler form. So we will see Gauss law. Gauss law. Statement: the electric flux over any closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface divided by epsilon 0. The total electric flux over surface is equal to the total electric charge enclosed by the surface divided by epsilon 0, where epsilon 0 is the permittivity of a free space and the value, of course, it is 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. So statement: the flux over a closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface divided by epsilon 0. Okay, what is epsilon 0? Recall it. Epsilon 0 is permittivity of free space. And the value of this epsilon 0 is 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12 coulomb square per Newton meter square. Okay. Now we'll see whether this Coulomb's law is true or not. So we'll give a proof. It was a statement. A statement says the flux over a closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by the closed surface divided by epsilon 0. That means total charge, if total charge is Q, then epsilon 0 will be Q0. It will be flux. Total electric flux is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Now I am omitting it. Now proof. Let us consider the same situation. A small surface area. This area is dA, and here this is the point O. So solid angle. This is the projection. So this will be dA cos theta. This is the axis. Now, as we know from the definition of flux, d phi is equal to E into dA cos theta. Now, if we put the value of E is equal to how much? 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square. And dA cos theta. This value will give, it is a solid angle. So we can write instead of dA cos theta upon R square, we can write dW. So it will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q into dW. Now, if you want to calculate the total flux due to a solid sphere, so what will be the total value? So we will have to integrate it. So if you integrate, you will get total flux. That will be dA plus dA phi integrated. That will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q and dW. This dW for a sphere, the value of this will be, the solid angle of a sphere is 4 pi, isn't it? The solid angle for a sphere is 4 pi. So instead of this, we can write 4 pi. So it will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q into 4 pi. So 4 pi cancel. It will be equal to Q by epsilon 0. So finally phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. This is the Gauss theorem. Gauss law says that the total electric flux enclosed by a surface is equal to the total electric charge enclosed by the closed surface divided by epsilon 0, where epsilon 0 is 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton square. This it's very hot. This Coulomb's law is very useful to calculate electric field intensity at a point due to symmetrical shapes. if we apply directly Coulomb's law, it will be very difficult to calculate. But if we apply this Gauss law, the complexity of the problem will be very less. So it will be easier to calculate. Now we will see how we will apply this Coulomb's the Gauss law for different symmetrical objects. Now we will discuss application of this Gauss law. Application. Application of Gauss law. Electric field due to a uniform charged sphere. Uniform charged sphere. Suppose a sphere of radius r, it is uniformly charged. We want to calculate the electric field intensity, say intensity. We want to calculate electric field intensity due to this charged sphere at certain point, say this point is P. So what we will do? We will construct a Gaussian surface. So how this Gaussian surface will be constructed? We will draw a bigger sphere around this small sphere of radius r, small r. Then we will apply Gauss theorem. We know from Gauss theorem phi equal to q by epsilon 0. Equation first. Phi, the total electric flux over the surface will be total charge on the surface divided by epsilon 0. We also know this electric flux is equal to E into A. So from here equation second, from first and second what we will do? So this electric flux is equal, so it will be EA equal to Q by epsilon 0. That will be, from here we can calculate electric field intensity E equal to Q by A epsilon 0. Now here total charge is Q and the surface area of a sphere, this sphere, the Gaussian surface, so it is A equal to how much? 4 pi r square. The surface area, total surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. So here A will be 4 pi r square. So E, the value of E will be how much? Q upon A 4 pi r square into epsilon 0. So it will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by r square. So see, we calculated electric field intensity due to at a point due to a sphere, and the calculation is very easier if we apply a Gauss theorem. Now electric field intensity due to a conductor, uniformly charged conductor, we will see. Now next application. Next application, electric field intensity due to a charge wire or a conductor. Suppose conductor is here it's a long conductor, say carrying uniform charge, and we are interested to calculate electric field intensity due to this conductor long wire at point P. So what we will do? In the same way, we construct a Gaussian surface. How the Gaussian surface will be constructed? There will be a cylinder. That cylinder will be passed through this point P. This is a symmetric of this conductor. So suppose the length of this cylinder is L, and lambda, suppose lambda is the charge per unit length of this conductor. Charge, because we cannot calculate, this wire is very long, it can be infinite. So we will calculate per unit length. We will calculate electric field due to per unit length. So lambda is the charge per unit length. So here in the same way, from the Gauss theorem, phi will be equal to q by epsilon 0, equation first, and again from Coulomb's law we know phi, electric flux, will be equal to electric field intensity into the surface area, equation second. From equation first and second we will get E equal to q by a epsilon 0, q upon a epsilon 0. Now here q is equal to lambda, charge per unit length, into the length of this Gaussian surface. Okay, so q will be lambda into L. What will be A? A will be the surface area of this cylinder. We will neglect the top and bottom because this cos theta, if electric field will be E cos theta, so it is 90 degree from this. So cos 90, it will be 0, it will be 0. So we will calculate the surface area of this outer surface only. So A will be how much? 2 pi r into L. So electric field intensity will be how much? E equal to q is lambda by L. So it will be lambda by L upon 2 pi r L. Area is 2 pi r L, 2 pi r L into epsilon 0. This L and this L will be cancelled. So it will be equal to, E will be equal to how much? E will be equal to 1 by 2 pi epsilon 0 into lambda by r. See how easy is to calculate electric field intensity due to different symmetrical surface with applying Gauss law. Now we will see another example. This time electric field intensity due to of plane sheet. Now this time electric field intensity due to a plane sheet. Let us consider this is a plane sheet. Suppose this is a plane sheet and it is uniformly charged. It is uniformly charged. Now, due to this plane sheet, if we want to calculate electric field intensity at point P, then what we will have to do? We will construct a Gaussian surface. So, circle here, point P, small circle, electric field will be in this direction, and in the same way the opposite, because this sheet is very thin, so we will take another side. So it will be like this, and opposite side this will be like this. Okay, so both side length is same. So electric field will be in this direction. Here also area factor is also dA. This side area factor is dA. Now we are interested to calculate electric field intensity due to sheet at point P. So what we will do the same way according to Gauss law. The electric flux phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. Total charge of sheet is Q. And again from Coulomb's law, phi is equal to how much? E into A. So from here E A equal to Q into epsilon 0. Therefore E equal to Q A epsilon 0 equation first. Similar, before we had calculated, same way we will do like this. Now see, the charge we consider a plane sheet. We consider it's a very large sheet. So it's an infinite area. So we cannot calculate that much. So that's why we taken this much area, and due to this we calculated here. So suppose the charge density per unit area is sigma. Sigma is the charge density per unit area. Okay. So for this area dA, charge density will be sigma dA, and this side also the area is dA. So total will be charge density. The charge density will be sigma dA. Now area charge, total charge will be Q equal to sigma dA, but the surface area A equal to dA this side and that side also. So dA plus dA equal to 2 dA. So we will put this value here. So Q equal to sigma dA upon A is 2 dA into this epsilon 0. So dA cancel. So it will be equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon. So electric field intensity due to a plane sheet, the thin sheet and the very large sheet, it will be equal to sigma by 2 epsilon 0. See how easy it is. But what if this plane sheet is thicker? So how we will calculate the electric field intensity? We will calculate electric field intensity as we calculated in case of this plane sheet. How we will calculate it? This portion, suppose it is here, but it is very large sheet. Now number 4. Now we will calculate electric field intensity due to a conductor. Suppose this is a conductor, okay? Now this time, in the same way, in case of plane sheet was very thick, but this time the conductor is very thick. So this portion electric field will be affected outside, but inside it will not be affected. So we will neglect it. So the area in the same way, the electric from Gauss theorem, flux will be equal to Q by epsilon 0. Again, flux is equal to E into A. So E A equal to Q by epsilon 0. So E equal to Q by A into epsilon 0. Now here, in case of this conductor, what we will do? The charge density is say sigma. Suppose so, area is dA. This small area is dA. So it will be total charge will be Q into sigma dA. But this time we will take only one surface area because this is facing to this point P, but other portion is inside the conductor. So it will not be affected. So total area is dA. So we will put it here. So E will be equal to Q. So Q is sigma dA upon A is dA into epsilon 0. dA cancel. So it will be equal to electric field intensity will be sigma into epsilon 0. Thank you for watching. Next time we will come with another topic.